This sniper waits on the roof of a nearby building during a mission to rescue a school bus amid a terrorist threat. The terrorist, wearing a bomb jacket, seizes a girl, but our sniper is still ordered by his commanding officer not to shoot yet. Seeing that the situation isn't improving, the sniper, known as Kim Seol-woo, disregards the orders and positions himself near the bus. As the terrorist threatens to detonate the bomb, Seol-woo aims his gun at him, finally pulling the trigger and shooting the terrorist in the forehead. Due to his disobedience, he is arrested under military law. However, he isn't concerned because seeing the hostages happy is all that matters to him. In the interrogation room, he surprises his superiors by tricking a lie detector. When asked about his age, he claims he's 400 years old. Much to the interrogator's surprise, the lie detector indicates it's true. This demonstrates Seol-woo's ability to control his body's reactions. Impressed by his rebellious attitude and stress management skills, his superiors, Dong-hyun and Deputy Director Jang Tae-ho, decide to recruit him as a ghost, a more deeply planted black ops agent with fake identities who operates discreetly. Soon, Seol-woo begins operating internationally, assuming various identities and completing numerous missions. Once, he finds himself in Budapest, posing as a professor. His target is one of his students, Anna, whom he addresses by her real last name during a lecture. Since nobody should know her real name, Seol-woo's action piques her interest. This sparks a love story that Seol-woo intentionally initiates to get closer to Anna. Over time, they fall deeply in love and become engaged. However, Seol-woo's true interest lies in Anna's father, a mafia boss, who was once in the secret police during Hungary's dictatorship. During a meeting, the mafia boss insults Seol-woo in Hungarian, assuming he doesn't understand the language. To his surprise, Seol-woo responds fluently in Hungarian, revealing more about himself than the boss realizes. Seol-woo then confidently states that they won't disclose anything to Anna because he doesn't want to hurt the person he loves. Saying this, he has put himself in a tight spot. Soon, the mafia boss's henchmen confront Seol-woo in an alley, and their intentions don't appear favorable. They taser him, and the next thing our hero knows, he's in a basement with his hands cuffed. Someone hands him a prison uniform, indicating that Seol-woo is to be sent to prison. Perhaps this was his plan all along, to leverage the mafia boss's influence to gain access to the prison. The mafia boss had to comply because Seol-woo possessed secrets from his past work. In prison, Seol-woo's true motive is revealed. He's here to aid his old acquaintance, Petrov, who knows him as K, in escaping the prison. Seol-woo crafts a makeshift small-scale explosive device and installs it in the prison's fuse box. Then, he starts fashioning the key to his cell door using a mold provided by Petrov. On the day of the planned escape, when the guard opens the food pass-through door, Seol-woo cleverly inserts a wet tissue paper into the lock area, preventing the door from locking. Later that night, a guard inadvertently triggers a wire, causing the explosive device in the fuse box to ignite. Consequently, the prison's power shuts down, leading to a blackout. Taking advantage of the darkness, Seol-woo opens the food pass-through door and unlocks his cell door with the key he made earlier. He then shoots a hook at Petrov's door and uses the attached wire to transport the key to him. With Seol-woo's help, Petrov finally frees himself from the cell. As the lights come back on, the inmates have limited time to escape. With guards in pursuit, the duo heads to the underground mine where inmates labor during the day. They hop into a mine cart and flee, with guards shooting at them. When more guards rush into the prison, the inmates seize the opportunity. Finding the area safe, they escape through the mine door and reach a nearby well, securing their getaway. Petrov is sent back to Russia, concluding the mission. Knowing that the wrath of a woman betrayed by her love is deadlier than a time bomb, Seol-woo chooses an unconventional method to end their relationship. He asks Anna to meet him outside in his car. As she approaches, Seol-woo sets the car on fire, faking his own death. With the mission accomplished, he throws his engagement ring into the river and flees the scene. Some days later, Seol-woo is vacationing at a hotel when a woman sits beside him, her back turned to him. He notices a number written on her back, but initially ignores it. However, when he sees the same number on his coaster, he realizes something is off. In his hotel room, the number appears on the window, but instead of being worried, Seol-woo is more irritated than anything else. Soon, there's a knock at the door, and it's revealed to be Seol-woo's senior, Dong-hyun, disguised as a poorly dressed room service attendant. Seol-woo had already anticipated this, as the number he had kept seeing was Dong-hyun's birthday. Seeing the numbers, he knew Dong-hyun was coming, and he was annoyed because his arrival meant the end of his vacation. It turns out that the National Intelligence Service has lost contact with one of their ghost agents, Agent Yoon. He was undercover at Songsan, a major South Korean industrial corporation, with no communication from him for a while. The NIS fears that Agent Yoon's cover may have been compromised. Concerned that there could be a mole within their ranks leaking information, the NIS decides to seek Seol-woo's assistance. Dong-hyun briefs Seol-woo about the missing ghost agent, explaining that the agent sent a text before disappearing. The last message mentions a particular cargo container that departed from Incheon on October 4th, carrying 3 specific wood carvings. The NIS is currently tracking the container, but for the time being, Seol-woo must return to South Korea. Upon his return, he discovers the whereabouts of the first wood carving, which the NIS traced to Russia in the secret safe of an arms dealer named Chairman Victor. Due to the formidable security measures in place, Dong-hyun warns that it won't be easy for Seol-woo to locate Victor's residence, let alone infiltrate it. Their only option to reach Victor is through the assistance of action star Woon Kwang. It happens that Victor, a devoted fan of Woon Kwang, has invited him to his secret birthday party. To accompany Woon Kwang to Russia, Seol-woo manages to secure a position as the actor's head of security. However, neither Woon Kwang nor his manager, Cha Do-ha, like him. This could be attributed to the way Seol-woo treats Woon Kwang. As a die-hard fan of the actor, Do-ha cannot tolerate anyone being harsh on him. One day, during a film shoot, Seol-woo notices a suspicious mechanic checking Woon Kwang's car, which he'll use for a drift stunt. Seol-woo's suspicions are confirmed when Woon Kwang informs his team via police radio that his brakes have failed and the steering is locked. Woon Kwang's security guard, Seol-woo, springs into action, commandeering a police car to rescue him. Concerned for her boss, Do-ha decides to join Seol-woo. Woon Kwang, unable to control his speeding vehicle, is pursued by Seol-woo. With each speed bump, Woon Kwang's anxiety mounts as memories of a past collision resurface. Do-ha holds on for dear life as Seol-woo navigates through traffic to catch up to Woon Kwang's car. When they finally reach Woon Kwang, neither vehicle can stop the other from accelerating at high speed. Both cars race towards construction barricades and signs signaling the end of the road. They crash through the barrier. As the end of the road approaches, Seol-woo accelerates past Woon Kwang and then swerves sharply to the right. Moments later, he slams the brakes and sharply turns the wheel, causing his car to spin directly into Woon Kwang's path. Seol-woo pulls Do-ha close to his chest and prepares for impact. Soon, Woon Kwang slams into his car. Seol-woo applies the brakes and manages to stop Woon Kwang's car just in time. The collision knocks Woon Kwang unconscious, but miraculously, Seol-woo and Do-ha emerge unharmed. Injured, Woon Kwang is rushed to the hospital, where he experiences flashbacks of his accident 7 years ago. During a film shoot, his brakes failed, leading to a severe car crash. Although he survived, he endured months of physical therapy to recover. While hospitalized, his model girlfriend announced her engagement to Mo Sung-jae, a wealthy businessman and owner of Songsan. This news deeply distressed Woon Kwang, and his bitter past continues to haunt him to this day. Back in the present, Woon Kwang finally wakes up but remains weak, so he's kept sedated for rest. As he begins to regain his strength, he develops a brotherly bond with Seol-woo and confides in him about the betrayal by his girlfriend. To attend Chairman Victor's birthday party, Woon Kwang, Seol-woo, and Do-ha fly to Russia, where Seol-woo plans to steal a wooden carving from the mansion. Upon arrival, Seol-woo receives a coin from his senior, Dong-hyun, who seems to be shadowing him. The trio reaches the mansion and has to pass through a walk-through metal detector. Everything goes smoothly until Seol-woo sets off the detector. Security checks his pockets and finds a coin inside. Since it poses no threat, Seol-woo is allowed to keep the coin, and the trio is escorted inside the mansion. Seol-woo begins executing his plan by opening the coin and attaching his spy gear to his body to provide Dong-hyun with a view of the surroundings and start mapping the building's layout. According to the plan, Seol-woo must act when the lights go out, and the cake is brought out during the 4-minute birthday song. During this time, he needs to retrieve the wood carving from the secret room. The coin also doubles as a USB, which Seol-woo will insert into the security system control box, so Dong-hyun can control it remotely. After some time, Chairman Victor calls Woon Kwang to take pictures with him in the secret room. Initially, only Woon Kwang is permitted entry, but the actor insists on bringing his bodyguard, stating that Seol-woo is more than just a bodyguard. He's like a brother to him. Seol Woo isn't pleased with this arrangement because it prevents him from hacking into the security system. Despite his objections, Woon Kwang insists on bringing him inside, and Chairman Victor grants permission. As they explore the secret room, Seol Woo notices one of the artifacts, the same wood carving they were searching for. While Chairman Victor showcases his collection of artifacts to his guests, Seol Woo contemplates his next move. A flashback reveals that Seol Woo had previously met Major Petrov of Russia, the same person he assisted in breaking out of prison. The military had also sought to apprehend Chairman Victor, but lacked concrete evidence to do so. Seol Woo promised to provide Petrov with the evidence in exchange for a simple blast of an EMP, capable of causing widespread damage to power lines, telecommunications, and electronic equipment. Back in the present day, upon receiving a signal from Dong Hyun, Major Petrov instructs his men to prepare the EMP drone. The drone is launched, and soon, its blast damages the power line, causing a power outage. Chairman Victor is angry and embarrassed in front of his guests. With the power expected to recover in 5 minutes, he decides to proceed with the cake-cutting ceremony, accompanied by the 4-minute-long birthday song. Seizing the opportunity, Seol Woo exits the ballroom and makes his way to the secret room. Along the way, he equips a lens to help him spot any enemies. Moving swiftly, he navigates the stairs until he reaches the secret room. Knocking out the guards, he enters the room and unlocks the vault, granting him access to the chamber where the artifacts are stored. Shattering the glass, Seol Woo retrieves the wooden carving, attaches his spy gear, and places it outside on a balcony. Using a drone, Dong Hyun successfully retrieves the wooden carving without getting detected by the guards. While descending the stairs, Seol Woo encounters some security guards. In the darkness, they fail to recognize him. With guards closing in from both sides, Seol Woo leaps from the hallway onto the stairs. Meanwhile, Do-ha searches for Seol Woo. To avoid detection by the security guards, Seol Woo pulls Do-ha close, pretending to be her partner and diverting attention away from himself. It leaves Do-ha shocked, but the plan works as the security guards are unable to recognize him. Still shaken by the incident, Do-ha questions Seol Woo's actions, but he dismisses it as a mistake and urges her to ignore it. As the lights come back on, Chairman Victor is informed by his guard about the EMP blast causing the outage and the robbery of the vault. Suspecting foul play, he urges the chairman to evacuate the building immediately. Suddenly, the party is interrupted by the sound of helicopters circling the venue, their dazzling lights blinding everyone inside. Soon after, hordes of Russian soldiers storm the mansion led by Major Petrov. While the military arrests Chairman Victor, Petrov exchanges a look with Seol Woo, who responds with a smile and a nod. The mission is successfully completed, and Seol Woo returns to South Korea. While examining the wooden carving, he discovers a hidden box within it. Upon opening it, he finds a key, but it appears to be incomplete. It dawns on them that they need 2 more pieces from the remaining 2 carvings to form a complete key. Dong Hyun reveals that the royal family of Thailand holds the second wooden carving, and they will soon send it to South Korea for auction. With the first key retrieved, the agents no longer require Woon Kwan's assistance. Seol Woo decides to end his role as a bodyguard, feeling relieved, because unlike his previous work chasing criminals and fighting bad guys, this time, he was tasked with babysitting an older man, something he didn't appreciate. Initially, Seol Woo considers parting ways with Woon Kwan by faking his death. However, Dong Hyun makes him realize that news of his death will be broadcast, exposing his identity. Left with no other option, Seol Woo decides to act rudely towards the team to upset them so they don't raise questions about his departure. His first move is to deliberately sit in Wong Kyung's chair to provoke him. When questioned about it, Seol Woo grumpily responds that he's tired. Surprisingly, Woon Kwang understands his behavior, acknowledging that people sometimes act like this when exhausted. Seol Woo kicks the chair and leaves, leaving everyone surprised by his sudden change in behavior. After the shoot, Seol Woo tries to annoy Woon Kwang by refusing to open the car door for him. Despite Seol Woo's deliberate disregard, Woon Kwang remains calm, realizing that his bodyguard may need time to recharge. When nothing seems to be effective, Seol Woo decides to resign from the job. Despite Woon Kwang's attempts to dissuade him, even offering him a week's vacation, Seol Woo coldly rejects the offer and leaves. When Do-ha learns about Seol Woo's decision to leave, she decides to speak with him. Believing that he's departing because she didn't reciprocate his affection, she apologizes, expressing her concern about him getting hurt in a one-sided relationship. Seol Woo's expression turns cold, and he begins insulting Do-ha. stating that he's not interested in women like her who are easy, simple, extreme, and make decisions without consulting others. He clarifies that whatever happened at the party was merely out of curiosity, and Doo-ha is not the reason why he's leaving the job. As Doo-ha struggles to hold back her tears, Seol-woo concludes by telling her not to think of him or come looking for him ever again. As the agent leaves the cafe, he receives a call from Dong-hyun, who instructs him not to resign from the job, emphasizing the importance of maintaining his current identity. Seol-woo is distressed, realizing he has ended things with Doo-ha in a terrible way. Seeking to make amends, he approaches Doo-ha and unexpectedly kisses her. Shocked, Doo-ha pushes him away and then slaps him across the face. However, in the end, Seol-woo manages to rectify the mess he created by explaining that he initially wanted to distance himself from Doo-ha for her own well-being, but now he realizes he can't push himself away from her. Apologizing, he informs her that he will cancel his resignation and continue working for Woon Kwon. Back at headquarters, Dong-hyun briefs Seol-woo on their next strategy. It turns out that to get the second wood carving, they must find a black auction ring. According to their intel, Agent Yoon's confidential informant, known as Goldfinger, possesses the ring. Interestingly, Goldfinger is revealed to be Myung-suk, Doo-ha's father. While they could retrieve the ring directly from him, it turns out that Myung-suk has given it to Doo-ha, who is unaware of its significance. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Assemblyman Baek, who has pledged to support Sun Jae, the owner of Songsan Corporation, in the upcoming elections. Songsan is the same company where our missing ghost agent, Yoon, was employed. Assemblyman Baek promises Sun Jae that he will locate the missing wood carvings, which purportedly contain details of Sun Jae's grandfather's slush fund. Assuring Sun Jae, Baek claims to have connections within the NIS working on the case. Utilizing his connections, Baek discovers that Seol-woo and Dong-hyun have retrieved the first carving. Upon learning that Dong-hyun will meet someone to deliver the carving, Baek dispatches his hitman, Ki-chul, to eliminate Dong-hyun and retrieve the carving. Positioning himself atop a building, Ki-chul awaits Dong-hyun's arrival. As Dong-hyun steps out of the car, Ki-chul fires at him, only to find that the car is bulletproof. Undeterred, he prepares to attack once more, but he is suddenly shot in the shoulder by a sniper, none other than Seol-woo. It is revealed that the entire scenario was orchestrated by Dong-hyun to apprehend the individual responsible for Yoon's disappearance. By capturing the hitman, they hope to trace back to the person who hired him. After Seol-woo's initial shot, Ki-chul takes cover behind some boxes. Seol-woo provides cover for his seniors, Dong-hyun and Deputy Jang, as they ascend the stairs to apprehend the hitman. Ki-chul attempts to reach his weapon, but Seol-woo prevents him by firing continuously. In a bid to evade Seol-woo, Ki-chul sets off a smoke bomb, allowing him to change his position. Seol-woo pursues him, but Ki-chul retaliates by shooting at a cylinder, triggering an explosion that starts a fire, halting Seol-woo's advance. As Dong-hyun approaches the rooftop from the stairs, Ki-chul is forced to find another way to escape the area, ultimately succeeding in doing so. After the confrontation, Seol-woo realizes that Ki-chul is the same man he saw near Woon Kwon's car on the day of the accident. Meanwhile, Dong-hyun examines the hitman's abandoned gun and realizes that it is used by special forces. It appears they know who this weapon belongs to, making their investigation considerably easier. Later that night, Seol-woo takes Doo-ha out to dinner, and as time passes, their bond strengthens. Doo-ha becomes so comfortable with Seol-woo that she opens up to him about being harassed by loan sharks at her grandfather's memorial. It turns out her father had borrowed money from many people and disappeared, leaving Doo-ha as the only one they could pressure to get their money back. During the harassment, her father was present there, but he chose to leave, abandoning Doo-ha. In the present, Doo-ha also confides in Seol-woo about a ring her father gave her. She explains that she left the ring at the Columbarium Cemetery, where her grandfather's ashes are kept. Even when her grandfather passed away, her father showed no concern and ran away. She left the ring there to ensure her father would only find it if he truly changed. However, since he hasn't changed, he continues asking Doo-ha about the ring's location, unaware that it rests beside his father's ashes. After putting Doo-ha to bed, Seol-woo heads to the Columbarium Cemetery, where he finally finds the ring. He then calls Dong-hyun and informs him about it. The following day, he meets Doo-ha's father, Myung-suk, who boasts about the expensive watch gifted to him by the president of the Songsan Group, Mr. Sun Jae. It seems likely that he also wanted the ring, which is why he decided to do business with Myung-suk. When Seol-woo hears the company's name, he immediately takes out his phone and detects the watch. It turns out the watch is bugged. Upon discovering this, Seo Woo quickly dunks the watch into the water. Meanwhile, Sung Jae's henchman realizes that Seo Woo has caught them. Suspecting that Do-ha's life might be in danger, Seo Woo promptly leaves the restaurant and calls Do-ha, inquiring about her whereabouts. Learning that she is at the cemetery, Seo Woo asks if she sees any suspicious men around. When Do-ha tells him that 4 men in black suits are in the same room as hers, Seo Woo orders her to go to the restroom. He then instructs her not to lose the coin he gave her earlier because it's the only way he can find her. With that said, he warns Do-ha that she is about to be abducted. Before Do-ha can process anything, Sung Jae's men abduct her, rendering her unconscious with a chloroform-soaked handkerchief. When Dong Hyun learns about the abduction, he suggests involving the police. However, Seo Woo has discovered that the hitman who kidnapped Do-ha is a rogue ghost agent. Therefore, trusting the police isn't a viable option. While Dong Hyun wants Seo Woo to stay away from the situation to avoid exposing his identity, Seo Woo is unwilling to back off. The coin he gave to Do-ha turns out to be a tracker, allowing him to locate her. Following the tracker, he arrives at a port, which leads him to a locked container. Upon opening the latch, he hears a beeping sound nearby. Investigating further, he discovers a bomb with a timer set to 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Do-ha is gagged and zip-tied in a dark room, struggling to free herself. Without hesitation, Seo Woo takes out his pocket knife, examines the bomb, and cuts the white wire. The timer momentarily stops, only to restart again. Meanwhile, Do-ha struggles to free herself, but her efforts are in vain. With only 10 seconds left, Seo Woo is still torn between which wire to cut. After careful consideration, he cuts the red wire, stopping the timer and disarming the bomb. As Seo Woo enters the container, he finds no one but a laptop live-streaming Do-ha from another location. Next to the laptop, he discovers the coin tracker, indicating that the abductors set a trap for him. Just then, Seo Woo receives a call from Ki-chul, who threatens to kill Do-ha if Seo Woo fails to deliver the wood carving in the ring. Infuriated, Seo Woo shoots the laptop multiple times, venting out his frustration. At that moment, the SWAT team arrives, pointing their guns at Seo Woo, mistaking him for the abductor. Before they can fire, Dong Hyun arrives just in time, informing them that Seo Woo is one of them. As the SWAT team secures the premises, Seo Woo discreetly retrieves a part of the bomb to gather more information about it. Without wasting time, he reaches out to an old friend and asks about the bomb. Upon seeing the small cylindrical object, the man informs Seo Woo that Russia's first counterterrorism unit, the Alpha Group, uses such devices. He believes this type of weapon can only be sold by one person, a former master sergeant named Choi. Although the sergeant is no longer active, he now runs a junkyard and deals in arms illegally. With a referral from his friend, Seo Woo heads to the junkyard. However, when Sergeant Choi learns that Seo Woo is inquiring about the bomb and is not there to purchase weapons, he immediately refuses to help him. With a signal to his men, he instructs them to kick Seo Woo out of the junkyard. Moving quickly, our undercover agent strikes Choi in the face. Then, he aims his gun at him, demanding answers. When Choi refuses to talk, Seo Woo fires a shot into the ground, proving his threats are serious. Left with no choice, Choi confesses that he sold the bomb to a Black Ops agent named Ki-chul Seo. He also reveals that Ki-chul is affiliated with the Baek Infantry, and only Congressman Baek, the head of the Baek Infantry, knows more about it. Afterwards, Seo Woo briefs Dong Hyun on the situation. He proposes capturing Congressman Baek is necessary to locate Ki-chul's hideout. Dong Hyun explains that they're unable to take action against Congressman Baek without evidence. It's then that Seo Woo pulls out his recording pen and formally resigns from NIS, declaring that all his future actions are independent of his NIS affiliation. As he heads out to rescue Do-ha, all he can think about is the time he spent with her. Upon reaching Baek's office, he first subdues the guards, and then turns his attention to Baek himself. Despite the guards' attempts to attack him, Seo Woo effortlessly dispatches them before aiming his gun at Baek, warning him not to move. With a gun pointed at his head, Congressman Baek has no choice but to answer Seo Woo's question about Ki-chul's hideout. Meanwhile, Ki-chul contacts Seo Woo once more and orders him to bring the ring and the wood carving. threatening dire consequences if he refuses. As Seol-woo returns home to gather some belongings, he discovers someone there. Initially, he holds the man at gunpoint but soon realizes it's Woon Kwang. Woon Kwang explains that Doo-ha called him and informed him about her abduction. Now, he wants answers about the situation. Seol-woo finally confesses that he's a secret agent with NIS. In response, Woon Kwang punches him hard for deceiving them, then focuses on rescuing Doo-ha. He suggests involving other agents, but Seol-woo refuses, saying they can't trust NIS. Determined to rescue Doo-ha alone, Seol-woo declines, but Woon Kwang insists on accompanying him. He reveals his expertise as a reconnaissance sergeant with 8 degrees in martial arts, offering to aid Seol-woo in the rescue mission. Without delay, the duo reaches the hideout. Seol-woo deploys a bug camera from the van, providing them with the location of the man and Doo-ha. While Seol-woo focuses on rescuing Doo-ha, Woon Kwang takes on the man at the front gate to stall them. Initially, he pretends to negotiate the exchange of the ring and wood carving for Doo-ha. To buy time, he hands over the ring first, insisting on seeing Doo-ha before proceeding. Then, he surprises the goons by using pepper spray to blind them, before seizing the ring. A scuffle ensues, with Woon Kwang demonstrating some combat skills. Meanwhile, Seol-woo smashes a window and enters the hideout heroically. A shootout erupts between Seol-woo and Ki-chul, both skilled ghost agents. Despite Ki-chul's gunfire, Seol-woo manages to dodge the bullets. Amid the confrontation, Seol-woo manages to knock Ki-chul to the ground, but Ki-chul, being armed, fires at him. Seol-woo narrowly avoids the bullet, frightening Doo-ha. As the fight persists, both agents aim their guns at each other. They shoot simultaneously, only to realize their magazines are empty. Ki-chul retrieves a knife while Seol-woo uses his empty gun for defense. Seol-woo not only fights with Ki-chul, but also with other thugs who threaten Doo-ha's life. During the skirmish, Ki-chul slashes Seol-woo's stomach, causing him to bleed. Despite the pain, Seol-woo persists until he holds a knife at Ki-chul's throat, ending the fight. However, Doo-ha intervenes, preventing Seol-woo from killing Ki-chul and leading him to spare the man's life. Meanwhile, Woon Kwang appears to be overwhelmed by the goons. He puts up a strong fight, but it becomes apparent that he's struggling to hold them off. Just as the situation looks dire, Seol-woo arrives just in time, taking down the men and rescuing Woon Kwang. Together, they collaborate to subdue the goons until the SWAT team arrives. The goons are apprehended, and Doo-ha is rescued. As Woon Kwang releases Doo-ha, she locks eyes with Seol-woo, and they share a meaningful moment. Woon Kwang is hospitalized, where Dong-hyun requests him to sign a confidential agreement. He explains that the day's events are tied to national security, making it top secret and not to be disclosed to outsiders. Woon Kwang agrees and signs it, but Doo-ha refuses, insisting on hearing directly from Seol-woo. Dong-hyun arranges a meeting between them. When Doo-ha demands answers, Seol-woo apologizes for involving her. He reveals his true identity as a secret agent with NIS, explaining that being her bodyguard was part of his mission. With the mission aborted, he plans to resign. Confused and hurt, Doo-ha questions if their moments together were all a lie. Seol-woo only responds that Doo-ha is the most dangerous person to him. Despite struggling to accept the truth, Doo-ha signs the agreement, asking Seol-woo to talk to her again when he's clearer. It's evident that both Seol-woo and Doo-ha find it hard to reconcile the truth with the beautiful memories they shared. The next day, Doo-ha goes to Seol-woo's residence, but finds it deserted. Seol-woo had asked Dong-hyun to handle the first floor since it was exposed. Unaware that Seol-woo's office is in the basement, she tries calling him, but he doesn't answer. Overcome with emotion, Doo-ha breaks down in tears. Meanwhile, Seol-woo watches her on the CCTV camera, clearly affected by her distress. He turns off the monitor and focuses solely on his black auction mission. Later that day, he goes to the airport to meet a woman who refers to him as Agent K. They share a brief embrace before preparing to carry out their mission together. Later that night, Dong-hyun rebukes Seol-woo for taking matters into his own hands during Doo-ha's rescue. He believes they're in serious trouble now that the NIS knows about Seol-woo's cover. However, Seol-woo argues that everything went smoothly since the civilians were saved, and the ring and wooden carving were unharmed. Meanwhile, with Ki-chul in custody, Sung-ji decides to distance himself from him, a decision supported by Congressman Beck. Sung Ji plans to employ his grandfather's strategy to resolve the situation. Although Baek worries about the company's reputation, Sung Ji proposes a solution. Baek must become mayor and president to restore their position. The next development unfolds rapidly. Department head Jang is abruptly dismissed, with his special activities fund frozen, while Dong Hyun is arrested for corruption and abuse of authority. Simultaneously, Doo-ha's father, Mr. Myung-suk, is taken into custody for the murder of Black Ops agent Robert Yoon, who was investigating Songsan's corporation. It's evident that Assemblyman Baek orchestrated these events. Meanwhile, Ki-chul is escorted to his cell by 2 police officers. However, when the elevator doors reopen, staff members are stunned to find the officers unconscious and Ki-chul missing. With department head Jang stripped of his authority, he doesn't have the $5 million required by Seol-woo. This money is needed to gain entry to the Asian Investment Forum, where the second wood carving is up for auction. When Seol-woo inquires about the black auction mission, department head Jang admits they need to wait, much to Seol-woo's dissatisfaction. With the deadline approaching, Seol-woo seeks assistance from Woon Kwon. He requests the $5 million necessary to enter the Asia Investment Forum. Seol-woo explains that if the black auction mission is successful, they can use the proceeds to prove Doo-ha's father's innocence and secure his release. Initially taken aback by the substantial amount, Woon Kwon ultimately agrees to help Seol-woo, driven by the desire to aid Doo-ha's father. Recognizing the need for collateral from Seol-woo in exchange for the money, Doo-ha presents him with a handwritten contract. In the agreement, Seol-woo commits to returning to his guard Kim identity and safeguarding Woon Kwon from harm. Additionally, if Seol-woo vanishes as he did previously, Doo-ha reserves the right to post his photo online and expose his true identity to the world. On the day of the event, an elderly man accompanied by the same woman Seol-woo was seen with earlier arrives at the venue. They meet Chairman Yamato, who owns a rival company of Songsan's, and is sent by Sung Jae to purchase the wooden carving. The pair proceeds to the reception area, where the black auction ring is scanned, and the elderly man is provided with a black auction box and keys to their suite. Upon reaching the hotel room, the elderly man removes his mask, revealing Seol-woo underneath. Thanks to Seol-woo's efforts in securing entry to the Asia Investment Forum, Woon Kwon is able to participate in the bidding for the wood carving. Finally, the wood carving is up for bidding. Despite continuous counter-offers from Chairman Yamato, Woon Kwon ultimately places the final bid of 1 billion won. However, it becomes evident that he doesn't have more than that amount. To prevent Chairman Yamato from making another counteroffer, Doo-ha approaches his table, holding a small device capable of instantly freezing all electronics within a 1-meter radius. She buys herself some time by inquiring about the ongoing bidding. When the guards attempt to escort her back to her seat, Doo-ha grasps the table tightly and activates the device, freezing Chairman Yamato's tablet. With the distraction in place, Woon Kwon makes the final bid and secures ownership of the wood carving. However, unlike Seol-woo, Woon Kwon isn't as pleased, realizing he has depleted all the money in his bank account. Doo-ha leaves the auction room to retrieve the wood carving, which is located on the 33rd floor of the hotel, and she's given the key to the specific room where it's stored. As she enters the elevator, one of Ki-chul's former henchmen spots her and alerts the other NIS agents. Concerned for Doo-ha's safety, Seol-woo enters the building, opting to use the stairs to move discreetly. However, he encounters Baek's henchman, much to his dismay. Meanwhile, Doo-ha reaches the room, but is joined by an unwelcome guest, Ki-chul. As Seol-woo fights off the henchman, he eventually takes the elevator to reach the 33rd floor. Ki-chul retrieves the briefcase from the room, but before he can leave, he's spotted by Baek's henchman. Seol-woo intervenes and begins to take down the men one by one. Subsequently, Seol-woo confronts Ki-chul on the stairs, where the tables turn unexpectedly as Ki-chul willingly hands over the briefcase to Seol-woo. A flashback reveals that Seol-woo had met with Ki-chul before the latter escaped. Ki-chul expressed that he understands his career without an identity is finished, and that his former backers will discard him once they've exploited him. He acknowledges that individuals like him don't typically get a happy ending. Despite this, he agrees to help Ki-chul, but Ki-chul demands the death of a specific individual in return. Returning to the present, Seol-woo retrieves the briefcase and promptly escapes from the building. He makes his getaway on a motorbike, while Ki-chul detonates his own car, bringing an end to his journey. However, later, Seol-woo meets with Ki-chul, revealing that the agent is still alive. It turns out that it was all part of the plan to ensure that Songsan Corporation couldn't harm Ki-chul and would assume he was dead. Now, Seol-woo informs Ki-chul that once he retrieves all the wooden carvings, he intends to make Ki-chul stand trial for his crimes. Surprisingly, Ki-chul has no objections and is prepared to face the consequences of his actions. To guarantee cooperation, Ki-chul shows Seol-woo his family, which the agent can use as collateral. Thanks to Ki-chul, Seol-woo has also obtained evidence clearing Do-ha's father of Robert Yoon's murder. Back at his headquarters, Seol-woo opens the hidden compartment of the wood carving and retrieves the second key. Woon Kwang nearly has a heart attack upon seeing the artifact broken, knowing he had spent all his savings on it. With both keys retrieved, Seol-woo hands the artifacts to Woon Kwang so he can sell them to recoup his $4 million out of $5 million. Seol-woo updates department head Jang on the deal he struck with Ki-chul and provides evidence of Agent Yoon's killer. When Seol-woo inquires about the status of the third wood carving, he's surprised to learn that the NIS director is handling it. Later, while reviewing the CCTV footage of Agent Yoon's murder, Seol-woo notices that Agent Yoon was placing a book on the shelf when he was attacked. Investigating further, he finds a book with blank pages and realizes it's more significant than it appears. Meanwhile, NIS agent Jae Hyuk Choi visits Woon Kwang to inquire about Seol-woo, who is now considered a terrorist after being seen leaving the premises just before the explosion. Initially drowsy, Woon Kwang is on the verge of revealing Seol-woo's location. However, Do-ha wakes him, reminding him they have no association with a terrorist. While answering the agent's questions, Do-ha secretly messages Seol-woo, warning him not to come to Woon Kwang's house. Later that night, Seol-woo meets with Woon Kwang to deliver some bad news. In addition to the wooden carvings, Seol-woo owed Woon Kwang $1 million, which he had requested from the director. However, it turns out that Assemblyman Beck is targeting the director, rendering their special activities fund inaccessible for the time being. Do-ha and Woon Kwang are disappointed to hear that Seol-woo has failed to fulfill his promise. Seol-woo assures them that he will arrange the money as soon as possible, and until then, they can consider him as collateral. With Seol-woo back on the job, he and Woon Kwang spend some quality time together, pampering their skin with face masks and having heartfelt conversations. Meanwhile, Woon Kwang's former girlfriend and Sung Jae's current wife, Mi-eun, suggests to Sung Jae that instead of collaborating with the old and corrupt Congressman Beck, he should align himself with the young and principled department head Jang of the NIS. Sung Jae dismisses the idea, stating that Jang wouldn't cooperate with him. Mi-eun proposes that Sung Jae offer Jang what he desires. When asked for elaboration, Mi-eun suggests that Sung Jae empower Jang to dismantle Congressman Beck and Beck Infantry. Sung Jae embraces the idea and promptly arranges a meeting with department head Jang. Initially, Mr. Jang hesitates to accept the offer, but he eventually informs Sung Jae that he's seriously considering it. He confirms that Sung Jae will deliver Congressman Beck and the Beck Infantry to him in exchange for the 2 keys from the wood carvings. Additionally, they'll need to secure the third wood carving to finalize the transaction. As a result of the deal, Mr. Jang obtains photographs of Mr. Beck with Ki-chul, the rogue ghost agent involved in numerous criminal activities. Despite being cornered, Mr. Beck confidently asserts to Mr. Jang that no one can bring him down. On the other hand, Seol-woo utilizes chemicals to make the writings on the blank book visible. The pages reveal a series of numbers that resemble dates. Seol-woo decoded the numbers, revealing that Robert Yoon frequently visited an Am Cathedral on Mondays. Beside each date is written Rev 127, which Seol-woo deduces corresponds to 12:7 in the Book of Revelation. To delve deeper into the matter, Seol-woo accompanies Do-ha to the cathedral. There, he meets Father Michael and employs the coded wording to gain the priest's trust. When asked about who Agent Yoon met within the cathedral, Father Michael discloses that it was Mr. Jang. However, on the last day, Mr. Jang brought another individual with him, who turned out to be Dong Hyun. Meanwhile, Chairman Victor acquires the last wood carving and travels to South Korea to finalize the deal with Sung Jae. In exchange, he demands Seol-woo to take revenge on him. Seol-woo meets with Mr. Jang to hand over the 2 keys, after Mr. Jang claimed he would soon acquire the third one. During their conversation, Seol-woo asks Mr. Jang if he's collaborating with Sung Jae, to which Mr. Jang retorts that if he were, why would he bring him the keys? Seol-woo explains that it's the fastest way to obtain the third key. Just as Seol-woo questions Mr. Jang's allegiance, a convoy of cars surrounds them. Seol-woo is determined not to let anyone disrupt his mission easily, but Mr. Jang shoots him in the stomach. As a result, Seo Woo falls into the river, bleeding heavily from his wound. The fond memories of Do-ha drive Seo Woo to fight for his life, and he opens his eyes, swimming to the shore. Seeking aid for his wound, he turns to Ki-chul and asks for assistance. Ki-chul questions why Seo Woo trusts him, as he could easily kill Seo Woo and be free. Seo Woo explains that he cannot do this, as he seeks revenge on his handlers who abandoned him in prison. As Ki-chul removes the bullet, he reveals that it missed any vital organs or bones, making the injury easy to treat. Seo Woo realizes that it wasn't just luck. Mr. Jang deliberately shot him away from vital areas, indicating that he didn't want Seo Woo dead but rather wanted him to vanish. Meanwhile, Chairman Victor and Sung Jae receive a call from their henchmen, informing them of Seo Woo's supposed murder. Both are pleased to hear the news. According to the deal, Dong Hyun is released from jail. When he inquires about the woodcarving mission, Mr. Jang informs him that it is concluded, and that he will personally handle the acquisition of the third woodcarving. When Dong Hyun asks about Seo Woo's whereabouts, Mr. Jang claims he has gone on vacation. Suspicious of Mr. Jang's claims, Dong Hyun follows him to the Sonsun Corporation office. There, Mr. Jang meets with Sung Jae to obtain the third key. With all three keys in hand, he combines them to create one key. By deciphering small holes in the keys, Mr. Jang decodes them into numbers and obtains the coordinates of the slush fund's location, which happens to be the Sonsan product warehouse. On the other hand, Dong Hyun poses as a janitor and discreetly shoots a tracker at Sung Jae's car to keep track of his location. Mr. Jang and Sung Jae arrive at the product warehouse and successfully unlock the door, revealing billions of expensive artifacts, paintings, and, most importantly, the dirty videotape records left by Sung Jae's grandfather. However, some records, likely those containing Assemblyman Baek's incriminating information, are missing. Suddenly, Dong Hyun appears at the location with a confiscation warrant. Both Mr. Jang and Sung Jae are taken to the prosecutor's office for interrogation. Dong Hyun is confident that Sung Jae won't get away this time. However, his wife proves him wrong by presenting a project plan between the NIS and Sonsun Corporation. She reveals that Sonsun was supposed to provide the NIS with tapes related to the slush fund that Chairman Mo set up, and the slush fund was intended to be donated to society. Her evidence from the project plan successfully refutes the accusations, leaving Dong Hyun with no choice but to dismiss the case. On the other hand, Seo Woo returns to his not-so-secret hideout, where Do-ha takes care of him. While rereading the book left by Agent Yoon, Seo Woo discovers another clue which reads, "If it is in the Lord's will, he will lead you to the right path." The path is in the word. Realizing that the next clue regarding the tapes of Congressman Baek might be in the slush fund storage room, Seo Woo visits the location with Dong Hyun and begins searching through the items. There, he comes across a painting that accurately depicts the Bible verse found in Yoon's book. Seo Woo cuts the sides of the painting and removes the canvas, revealing a floor plan of the Sonsun office. The VIP lounge on the 58th floor stands out, marked with diagrams of the keys. Without delay, Seo Woo sneaks into the building and begins scanning the area. However, the scanning fails due to radio interference. Just then, someone enters the lounge, who is revealed to be Myun. When Myun asks what he's doing there, Seo Woo responds that he's searching for Chairman Baek's missing tapes, as instructed by Agent Yoon. During their conversation, he refers to Myun as a fellow ghost agent, and Myun doesn't seem to deny it. It's revealed that Mr. Jang enlisted Myun's help planting Seo Woo as Woong Kwan's bodyguard. In the present, it's disclosed that Agent Yoon was indeed Myun's handler, and was the one who gave her the opportunity to leave acting and assist him in bringing down the Sonsun group by initiating a relationship with Sung Jae. This is why she married Sung Jae and left her true love, Woong Kwan. While conversing with Seo Woo, Myun also reveals that not only did the tapes disappear, but also the information on the first-generation ghost agents. This was what Agent Yoon was searching for until the end. To assist Seo Woo with the case, Myun provides him with Chairman Mo's will, which is enclosed in an envelope adorned with a dragon design. Seo Woo delves into Chairman Mo's will, a concise document that reads, "One with power desiring money will fail, and one with money desiring power will die. Everything, excluding myself, goes to my grandson Mo Sung Jae." After examining the paper and finding nothing unusual, Seo Woo recalls Father Michael's words about the path being in the word. Upon seeing Chairman Mo's portrait in the VIP lounge, something clicks for Seo Woo. He heads to the office and focuses on the portrait, believing that the phrase "excluding me" in Chairman Mo's will indicates there's something behind his picture that he didn't want to give Sung Jae without him decoding the riddle and understanding the business. As Seo Woo removes the portrait, a safe is revealed, with 3 keyholes, all of which can be opened by the 3 keys Seo Woo already possesses. Seo Woo opens the safe and discovers the missing videotapes, along with documents regarding the first-generation ghost agents. He delivers the contents of the safe to Dong Hyun, and requests him to investigate the significance of the dragon design. Feeling satisfied with completing the mission, Seo Woo visits Do-ha, but his mood changes when he receives a call. His expression darkens as he sees the caller's identity, and his demeanor turns horrified as he answers the call. Meanwhile, Dong Hyun calls Director M of the NIS and informs him about the tapes and the information on ghost agents. Director M orders him to deliver the bag to the black car across the road. As Dong Hyun is crossing the road, he gets hit by a truck. Upon hearing the news of the accident, Mr. Jang immediately rushes to the hospital and learns that Dong Hyun's condition is critical. Mr. Jang then contacts Seo Woo, who is already carrying out his investigation at the accident scene. Visible tire marks on the road suggest that the driver deliberately accelerated in an attempt to kill Dong Hyun. This realization dawns on the duo that it wasn't an accident but a deliberate murder. Meanwhile, Director M opens a case on his desk, revealing a rifle adorned with a dragon carving. It's revealed that the gun was a gift from Chairman Mo to Director M. This revelation exposes the truth that Director M is indeed the mole. He had collaborated with the Songsun Corporation from the beginning, and was also responsible for blowing Agent Yoon's cover. While Seo Woo is in his office, his mind is consumed by memories of the time he spent with Dong Hyun. Unable to accept the reality of his best friend's impending death, Seo Woo breaks down into tears. On the other hand, Director M meets with Sung Jae and expresses his ambition to fill the political vacuum left by Assemblyman Baek. It's also disclosed that the tapes contain evidence of Director M's illicit activities during his tenure as a ghost agent. Director M then pledges to eliminate Seo Woo and eradicate the remaining threat he poses. Meanwhile, Seo Woo isn't prepared to give up without a fight. Upon discovering that Director M is the mole, he tries to take him and Sung Jae out, but Woon Kwang intervenes. He warns Seo Woo that if he goes through with it, the villains will be seen as martyrs, while Seo Woo will be labeled a terrorist. Later, the trio devises a new plan to expose Sung Jae and Director M. Sung Jae is invited to discuss his scholarship program on a live show. However, with Do-ha's assistance, the show's host is given a coffee mixed with a laxative, preventing him from attending the show. Woon Kwang steps in to offer himself as the replacement host, and since the show is live, the director is unable to cancel it. With Sung Jae unable to raise objections, the director reluctantly agrees to have Woon Kwang host the show. As the show begins, Seo Woo, disguised as a worker, discreetly attaches a microphone to Sung Jae's coat. He then reveals to Sung Jae that the microphone is rigged with an explosive device that detonates if a remote button is pressed. Sung Jae is given a chance to avoid this fate by answering the questions truthfully. The show begins, and Woon Kwang wastes no time in asking Sung Jae why he attempted to kill him twice. As evidence, he plays an audio recording of Sung Jae's right-hand man ordering the assassination. Sung Jae denies the accusations, claiming ignorance about his subordinates' actions. Meanwhile, Director M sits in Sung Jae's office when he receives a call from Seo Woo. Seo Woo warns him that if he hangs up the phone, the bomb under the table will detonate. Back at the show, Woon Kwang directs the next question at Sung Jae, this time exposing Songsun's newly established foundation as a slush fund rather than a genuine charitable organization. Woon Kwang further questions about Dong Hyun's accident and the person behind this attempted murder. Under pressure to tell the truth, Sung Jae admits that the person behind everything is none other than NIS Director M. Woon Kwang demands proof, so Sung Jae produces a USB drive from his pocket, claiming it contains a file detailing Director M's past misdeeds. Shocked by Sung Jae's revelation, Director M orders Seo Woo to detonate the bomb and kill Sung Jae immediately to destroy the evidence. When questioned about his attempt to kill Dong Hyun, Mr. M justifies it as being for the country's sake, arguing that it would be disastrous if information about the first-generation ghost agents were exposed. Seo Woo reluctantly presses the button, but the bomb fails to detonate. Instead, the cover of the LCD screens in Sung Jae's office is removed, revealing that Director M's confession has been recorded on the CCTV cameras. Frustrated, Director M lashes out at the phone, only for Mr. Jang to arrive and arrest him for all his crimes. Assemblyman Baek is also arrested, and as per the promise, Ki-chul will testify against him. Miraculously, Dong Hyun is on his path to recovery. Department head Jang approaches him and announces that Dong Hyun is being awarded the Medal of Honor for playing a significant role in protecting the nation. Meanwhile, Seol-woo is living a normal life with Do-ha. However, his problems are far from over. Petrov pays a surprise visit and informs him about the resurgence of a group called Red October. He reveals that everyone from their previous mission, except them, has vanished. This implies they must leave the country and seek refuge elsewhere until the situation improves. During their final meeting, Do-ha gives Seol-woo the coin to help her keep track of his location. Seol-woo instructs Do-ha not to wait for him and departs the country. Yet Do-ha never stops thinking about him. After a year or two, Seol-woo receives a message from Petrov confirming the completion of the Red October mission. In South Korea, Do-ha checks Seol-woo's location on her phone when the blinking red light suddenly disappears. Initially worried, she soon realizes that it might mean Seol-woo was returning. As the series ends, Woon Kwang gets a new bodyguard, but he isn't pleased about it.